Hello friends, today we will discuss about matter. Though this presentation is not very flowery or colorful, we will discuss the concepts of matter. So anything that occupies space and has mass is called as a matter. Okay, like if you take any object as an apple or you can take your box, you will see that it has got some mass, that's why it has got some weight, and it also requires some space. And that is the reason that I can call it as a matter. Next, coming to what are the characteristics of matter. So each and every matter, it will be composed of some particles. If you again take your box, it is containing some particles. You can powder it, you can find that it is having some particles. Again, I told you that it will have a mass, that is why it has a weight. And third is it will occupy some space. Okay, it will require some space. Now, based on what are the two differences that we find in a matter, one is cohesive and one is adhesive force. If the forces between the particles of the same kind, then the force is cohesive. Otherwise, they will try to move apart from each other, which is known as adhesive force. So that will stick to the surface, that is adhesive force. That's why in liquids we will find that those liquids which are dense or which are colored liquids, they will try to move together like mercury and have an higher meniscus, whereas water is having a lower meniscus because of the adhesive force. It is like each other, whereas some liquids tend to group themselves together to form an upper meniscus like cohesive force. Okay, these are the two different kinds of forces. Next, coming to three different states of matter. Here I have given you two tables regarding that. So whichever table you feel it easy to follow, you may follow. So if I talk about shape, so the three states of matter are solid, liquid and gas. So if I talk about shape, solids have a definite shape. So if you take a solid and if you see it, it has got a particular shape. Now, if you consider a liquid, you will find it takes the shape of the vessel that you have. So, it do not have a particular shape, whereas gases also do not have a definite shape. If you talk about a volume, okay, so solid has got its own volume, okay, the space that is occupied by it. Liquid too has got, it requires some space that is required. So, that is it also has got a definite volume. But gases do not have definite volume. Now, if I consider compression, in case of compression, solids if you take, it cannot be compressed because particles are so closely placed, it is completely solid, tough, rough, so it cannot be compressed. Whereas liquids, the particles has got some space in between them so that they can be compressed. Okay, and gases also can be compressed, like the most common is LPG, liquid petroleum gas, that is a compressed gas. Now I am coming to the fourth state of matter, which is called as plasma. It is ionized gas. So here there is a coexistence of species, ions, electrons together, and the energy is provided by the atoms or molecules. So they are basically the gases which are ionized, they are ionized gas which is present in the plasma, which keeps all the organelles to coexist. Fifth state of matter is Bose-Einstein condensate. What is Bose-Einstein condensate? It is superfluid phase. A very common example is the glass that you use. So the atoms are collapsed and cooled nearly to absolute zero. And that is how this Bose-Einstein condensate is formed. They are one particular quantum that is formed by all the atoms put together. Now, the point is, how do I convert from one phase or one state of matter to another state of matter? So, I will talk here about the basic three states of matter like solid, liquid and gas. So, you see the chart over here. If the conversion goes from solid to liquid, if I talk about solid, let me consider ice. liquid is water and gas is vapor. So solid to liquid, that is ice to water. So ice to water, it is melting. So any solid form, to convert it into any liquid form, we will say it as melting. Again, liquid to gas, that is water to vapor, it is vaporization. If I go in the reverse, gas to liquid, that is when vapors becomes clouds and it starts precipitating, so that part is known as condensation. So we have come across this word condensation. So gas to liquid is condensation, and liquid to solid, how do you freeze your ice? That is, your water gets frozen to form ice. So liquid to solid is freezing. So just to again recap it, solid to liquid is melting, liquid to gas is vaporization. On the reverse direction, gas to liquid is condensation and liquid to solid is freezing. Now there are cases like camphor. So in these cases, what happens is, from the solid state, it suddenly becomes vapor without going through the phase. So this process of conversion from the solid phase directly into the gaseous phase is known as sublimation. And in this case, whatever is a solid phase, that is known as sublimate. So the camphor is known as sublimate, and the conversion into gaseous form, the gaseous form is known as sublime. So the camphor gas that is formed, that is a sublime. Okay. So this is all about interconversion, solid to liquid melting, liquid to gas vaporization, gas to liquid condensation, liquid to solid freezing, and solid to gas is sublimation. Next, let us come to the matter, the classification of matter based on the type of particles present in that. So based on that, we can classify matter as pure substance and a mixture. A pure substance are when it has same kind of particles, which is, for example, if you consider water, water has got the same particle wherever you take it from. But when I talk about a mixture, air is a mixture, or let me talk about the common mixture that you, so if you take a spoon of the mixture, you will have some combinations, whereas the next spoon might have some combinations. In one you might have a peanut, in another you might not have a peanut. So it is completely random. So mixture, you cannot say about the composition. Pure substance, whenever you take a spoon out, so the composition is completely constant everywhere. So now this pure substance can again be classified into two. One is the element and one is the compounds. Elements means they contain single type of an atom. Yes, I will come to what is an atom. And whereas compounds will contain different atoms in constant proportion. Now, atom is what? It is the smallest particle of a matter. Like if you have hydrogen gas, we have hydrogen atom. Oxygen gas, we have oxygen atom. It is the smallest particle. Okay. So further, it's not divided, but it's the smallest particle. Whereas for compounds, it is the smallest particle which will have all the properties of that particular substance. So that is a compound. So if I talk about hydrogen molecule, it is H2. If I talk about a water molecule, it is H2O. So everywhere you go across, you will get two parts of hydrogen, one part of oxygen as the water molecule. So that is a compound which can, again, this pure substance cannot be separated so easily, whereas mixtures can be easily separated. Okay. So we will go in the next video. So this is all about matter and their classification. Thank you.